Alex, how do you feel about attachment?
Did
I call you Alex? Oh, you laughed. You weren't even attached to it. That's fucking awesome.
Oh, attachment. I think attachment is something very human. I think it's very human. It's a very natural part of the evolution of the spiritual in the human to be attached to things. Stuff, people, relationships, status. Yeah, it's very, very human. And a lot of beautiful art and has been created from attachment. I mean, just look at the troubadours and their romantic poetry in the 13th century. You know, beautiful works of art. I mean, you could even say that the poetry of Mirabai, the mystic in India, of 14th century India, is attached to the intoxication of drinking in the wine of the beloved. If you read her poetry, you'll see a lot of grief and sorrow, because the mystical state of cognition, the mystical state of reverie, it can't be maintained at every point in the day. And so when you come out of that state, you know, there's a sorrow because you feel an absence of your lover.
Sorry to cut you off. I like to use the phrase connected but unattached, because in the words of the law of attraction, we move towards what we focus on, and we align what we're aligning with, syncing with, aligning with. We move towards that. So why not be connected to the experience? It's okay. Tears are coming to my eyes and everything. I'm connected to it, and I'm experiencing the full evolution with whatever's going on. But I'm necessarily unattached to whether I'm supposed to make $1 million with this, or if I'm just supposed to just fail enough that I find my next opportunity.
I like that connection, but unattached. Yeah, there's a very beautiful poem I once wrote that came out of a mystical state of reverie, and it was: to let the butterfly fly free takes courage, such immense courage. A warrior has no obsessions and gives through non-attachment, for his intensity of presence is the most precious gift of all. So the butterfly represents that living, vibrating reality, this alive presence reverberating inside of my soul, totally free, complete freedom. To stop seeking that, to let life be, that takes a lot of courage. To let things be and accept them as they are, to surrender, to not give thought such importance in determining your experience of this moment, because it's thought that we get lost in and causes us so much suffering, because it's the thought that paints the story Nishida Kataro once talked about how mental imagery and thought are different degrees of the same phenomena. So mental imagery is a form of thought. And it's these stories, this mental image in our head that continues to play on and on and on. And then we follow it, and then we analyze it, and we reflect on it, and we contemplate about it. But to just let that be, and that takes a lot of courage. And then with that, as evidenced by many sages and mystics in the history of mankind,
And womankind.
indeed, humankind.
Childrenkind.
There's no more obsessions. And I think specifically you see this in the Buddhist sphere. And from that, you are just giving to life. Every step is a blessing to everything around you. That intensity of presence the fragrance of love. Thich Nhat Hanh once talked about how love requires presence. So this intensity of presence is a love